Hello and welcome. I'm Lauri Andriacchio, and I'm so excited to be here and to have you here for our premiere episode of It's Creativity Thing. We're going to redefine creativity and discover how you can design your life your way. So get ready to ignite your imagination, fire up your senses and awaken them so you can realize the endless possibilities that exist to be an even more glorious, more authentic, more joyful you. So, what does it mean to be creative? And what does creativity, what does it mean? My guest here, the beautiful DiDomenico, is here to rescue and to help explain. So thank you so much for joining us.
Well, first of all, it's my pleasure. And thank you for talking me into it.
She's a little resistant.
What I was saying before was basically, before we started, was that we have creativity streams that we're in, and that because we're resonating in the same frequency, we came together. And what we created was this meeting between us. And what you created was a show.
Yes. So little thing with Anne. She is the founder of Emerge Consulting. A big thing with Anne, but more importantly to me is she is one of my most influential, most dear role models, mentors, friend, collaborators, just all of it. She's influenced me so much, and just helped me raise my vibration like over and over again. So,
awesome. Oh,
thank you,
sounds
and thanks for joining us.
Yes,
so,
thank you.
So we're gonna dig in here and redefine creativity, see what's up with that, and give you some how-tos, some interactive things that you can do to spark your creativity. What's up with this creative expression thing?
Well, let's see. We were talking about creative expression and what it is. And there is a stereotypical place we go to in our minds about who's creative.
Yeah.
And most people, if you ask them about their creativity, would say, "Oh, I'm not creative at all." I mean, I know people are creative, but not me, because I don't paint landscapes, and I don't sculpt.
I can't draw. I can't. Yeah.
Right. I don't do those kinds of things that we typically think of as art and creative expression.
Yeah.
But what I'm excited about to know and to share is that we all are creative, and that's not just words as far as I'm concerned, that we are the embodiment of creative expression. We are literally the embodiment of creative expression. Maybe I'll just stop there for a minute.
I think we're going to pause there, and I think this is a good place just to pause and set an intention, and maybe just contemplate what that means. Like, you are creative expression. So take a comfortable seat, and whatever that is for you, wherever you are, we're just going to take a few deep breaths, and in through the nose, exhale with a sigh. In through the nose, exhale with a sigh. Let your eyes close if they're not already. One more inhale. One more exhale. And now, just for the next few breaths, visualize yourself, just relaxing more and more with each breath. Soften and release. And just contemplating that I am creative expression. I am creative expression. And I want to share, as you continue to breathe, a poem that was given to me by my 6th grade teacher. I found one of my creative writing journals from 6th grade, and so keep breathing. So this is Permission by Miss Harris, to be creative and to let go. It's okay to do something you don't know. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to find your own pace. It's okay to do it your own way. To bungle, so the next time you are free of the fear of failure enough to succeed. It's okay to risk looking foolish, to be original, to be different, and to wait until you feel ready to experiment safely. It's okay to question the shoulds. It's okay to be you. You are special. And it's necessary to make a mess, which you should be willing to clean up. The act of creation and creativity is often messy. So you have permission to be you and to let that flow in any way that suits you. So one more breath. I am creative. I am creative expression. And allow your eyes to open, and I think we are ready to roll.
Pardon?
Take a drink, and
Yeah,
we
I'm
are
gonna
ready
take
to
a
roll,
drink.
yes. So, a little bit more, you are the embodiment of creative expression. And, I think that begins, I like to center and put that thought, implant that thought, implement, so you can implement it. So,
Yeah. Well, it's hard to take a statement like that in and actually believe it. So I know it's kind of sitting out there right now. But let's take a look at the tools that we use for creative expression. And those tools everyone has. They have thoughts, they have emotions, and they have a body. And the thoughts and the emotions, which include imagination, are always active. It's running all the time. And whether we know it or not, we're creating all the time. Imagine, we're creating all the time. We don't even know it.
Yeah, all the time.
That's kind of shocking, actually, when you think about that.
Yeah, you think like how unconscious we are of that, and all of a sudden this experience appears, and sometimes we think it's, we didn't have any control over it, when in actuality...
Most of the time, we don't think we have any control over it. And it's not that we have control over the outer, but we do have control of how we receive what life is bringing us. And that's really where the control is. And when we look at what life is bringing us and we say, I don't want that, we're not owning the fact that we actually brought it to us. But that's a hard piece. So let me just say something about that. So our thoughts, we're always thinking a thought. And when we think a thought, we have emotions that connect with the thoughts. And between the thought and the emotion, we now have a stimuli in the body, and the body is responding instantaneously. And one day we were talking, and you had mentioned about getting a phone call, right?
Oh, well, yeah, even, the perfect example is theoretically, or I'm sure it's actually happened, you got a phone call with some bad news.
Right.
And, whether, someone died or someone was in an accident, just something terrible, and instantly your body reacts to that.
Right.
I mean, sometimes you could even collapse. It really just is overwhelming.
Exactly.
It could be. And that was just from a thought. But then say the same person said, oh, I'm sorry, never mind, that wasn't right. And then you're like, whew. And all of a sudden there's a different experience, but it was only from a thought.
That's right.
And how amazing is that? So
we don't
and baffling at the same time.
It is.
So
well, we don't see our reactions as anything more than reactions. We don't see them as creating anything. But just think of that possibility that when you have a thought, and that thought is, let's see, disturbing, upsetting, and you have emotions that go with it. The emotions are disturbing, upsetting, nervous, scared, anxious, all of those emotions. And your body is in the uproar of that, and every system of the body is impacted by that. And you're saying, oh, well, that's what happens. Well, here is what happens besides what you think is happening, that it's sending out a frequency.
So what do you do? I know you have a little trick, activity, exercise, or whatever, that you...
Well, sure, but just...
kind of sit with it.
To sit with it. But, first, you have to be aware that it's happening.
Right.
So self-awareness is very important. So to be aware that I am having thoughts, I am having an emotion, my body is reacting this way. All right, right in this moment, I'm actually creating a future moment.
So I know you had a little exercise for us to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
that, about sitting and being aware.
Right.
So first step,
Right.
being aware.
Right.
So can you
Right.
introduce that now before we, so
Sure.
we can go out
Oh,
with
sure,
it?
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I would ask you to do is to
And do this.
take the next couple of minutes while we're at commercial break.
Yeah, but we have time, yeah.
We have
So,
time.
yeah.
Right. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to sit wherever you're sitting and you're going to start looking around the room. And you're going to take in what's in the room. It might be a lamp, it might be a wall hanging, it might be a piece of furniture. You're looking at everything that's in your room, piece by piece by piece. If you're outside, you could be looking at the trees, beautiful water, the sky, so many different things. But you're taking them in one by one by one. And as you take them in, you see how you feel about them. What's the thought about them? And you can have the thought, I've brought this to me. If there's a chair sitting in your living room, you purchased the chair and perhaps at some point or somebody gave you the chair, you have a memory with it, you have a feeling with it, you look at that and you say, somehow I've brought this to me and it is good, and it is good. And then you look at something else and there's a lamp, there's a window with a view. I've brought that to me. Now, to somebody who doesn't have any background in doing self-awareness work, this might seem like very out there, but honestly, what this exercise does as you're looking around the room, as you're owning the pieces, the setting that you're in as yours, that you've brought it to you, as you're doing that, you begin to identify with your ability to create, with your ability to bring things to you.
Yeah.
So that's the exercise. And basically that's what we would ask you to do while we have a little break.
Yeah, so, okay, yes, to just observe, be aware, observe whatever there is, observe your thoughts coming in
Right.
as, maybe you're judging what's in your view.
Yes.
Or observe it, it's okay.
Absolutely.
Be
See how
aware
you
of
feel.
it. And so do that through commercial and we'll be back.
Okay.
So, okay.
We're Dr. Mark and Liz from Marriage Matters, a show that inspires, instills hope, and empowers couples to weather the stresses of married life.
Join us each week to hear how couples, real couples like you, have overcome challenges that were hurting their marriages, as well as getting expert advice on ways to nurture a happy and healthy relationship.
Tune in Fridays at 4:30 p.m. and Thursdays at 9 a.m. on RVN TV.
The new Kentucky Fried Chicken Sandwich with brioche buns, mayo, pickles, and a quarter-pound filet as far as the eye can see. Get comfy, it's gonna be a while. This thing's huge. Get the new Kentucky Fried Chicken Sandwich for just $3.99. It's finger-licking good.
Have you heard? Join me, Heather Darling, weekly for a different spin on politics, business, law, and other key issues you will not want to miss right here on RVN TV.
Look at this crazy council.
Hey, welcome back to It's a Creativity Thing. I'm your host, Lauri Andriacchio, and thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Anne DiDomenico is sitting here with us. Thank you for joining us
Pleasure,
again.
definitely.
So yeah, I want to know how you did with that exercise, and Anne has a couple questions for you to consider as well. So
Yeah, so as you were doing the exercise, did you pay attention to what thoughts came to you? I mean, your thought might have been, oh boy, this is a crazy thing to be doing.
why the heck am I doing this?
Yeah, what is this about? Or you might have actually been looking around and saying, oh, okay, yeah, I love that lamp. I remember when I bought it and I have a good feeling about it. It feels good. Or you might remember something You know, you see something in your room and you say, oh, I remember when I got that, so-and-so gave it to me, and I really need to get rid of that. That doesn't feel good. You know, you might have those kind of feelings. It's not a matter of having all good feelings. It's a matter of really being aware of what you're feeling and taking in what you see around you, which we usually don't do. And also, one thought that I really wanted to pass on to you is that with those thoughts and those emotions, they're your watercolors for what you're creating. Your body is a communication device. And if you've not heard that before, think about this. Your body is a communication device. So we're communicating. We could be silent and still we're giving out messages.
Sure.
So you want to be aware of what's going on inside of you, because that's what's coming out, whether you want it to or not. Very often it happens. So understanding that the body is a communication device, that your thoughts and emotions are happening all the time, that brings you to a place where we can, say, you want to dream, you want to daydream, you want to imagine. What is it that you want? What is it that you want to bring into
All
your
the
life?
things that we're told not to do as adults. Don't just sit there and daydream. You're wasting time.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
just sitting there no, daydream. That's where it all happens. You need to sit and have the quiet times and
We
those
need to read
moments
the
to be.
life stories of researchers and great scientists and great inventors. And what did they do? They daydreamed, they imagined, they drew pictures in their head or on paper, but they were always in this kind of other world.
Yeah. So I think taking the time to be aware first of what's going on, and then you can start to, let yourself be quiet and let yourself dream about, let yourself dream. Dream big. And, and then that's how you discover new things and new ways to do things.
Yes.
And and then, with the body and all the things that you can do, movement and things, and it just goes on. So anything, you don't have to be creative. You don't have to be putting a brush to a canvas. You could be walking through the woods. You could be walking through your house, right?
Absolutely.
You could be.
We are creative all the time, and what's sad to me is that the most dear people in my lives who have been the most creative would not recognize it for themselves. Mm-hmm. They would not recognize it. So that is my dear wish, that people would really start looking at themselves and really seeing the value and what they bring and what they create, and that would be
no
a
matter
wish.
what your job or vocation or whatever,
Definitely.
people think, whatever sparks your passion, it doesn't matter what it is.
No,
and
it's
you
what
can
you
be
love.
creative in anything, from being an accountant to being a chef, to being a doctor, to being a
housewife.
toll taker, a housewife, anything.
Right, caregiver, actually.
Oh my God, a
absolutely.
parent, certainly creative.
Oh yeah, you've got to be very creative as a parent.
But and kids, they can teach you so much about just observing. And, I always say we're in such a rush to get from point A to point B in the most succinct, timely manner that we can. But if you look at a child, they notice everything along the way. So you're like, why are you no, don't pick that up. But that's cool. Right. So stop, pick it up, smell the roses.
Right.
But it is, notice what's along the way.
Oh yeah.
And and part of the movement, I know you have some favorite body movements that you like, with a fancy name, you call them mudras.
Right.
But
I wanted to bring them up. Since you're involved with yoga and you do a yoga program, I did want to mention mudras because actually they're so fun. And I feel the difference when I use certain ones. So one of my favorite mudras are to help us really move through our life in a better feeling way.
Yeah, and they, I'm not an expert in mudras, even though they're part of yoga, but they're definitely, there's a connection. a nervous system connection, and
Yes.
you're activating certain nerves, and where you're touching your fingers, and it depends on each finger's related to a certain part in your brain, and you're activating things in certain body parts, and you can kind of think of like an acupuncture kind of meridian
And you're
sort
doing
of
it yourself.
thing.
That is so
Yeah.
fascinating to me. I mean, the body is fascinating to me, and to hear you say that. So here's one of my favorites, but it's called the Ganesha Mudra, and it's to remove obstructions in your life. And obstructions in the body, in the energy system, so that's thoughts, emotions, the body. And the way you do it, and you just tell me if I'm doing this wrong.
Well,
This is the way I do it.
This is yours, right?
So
I'm going to do
you're
it with
use
you.
both hands, and you have your left hand like this, your right hand like this, and you close them kind of in a fist.
Okay.
But now you're going to intertwine the fists, and they're in front of your heart center. And when you inhale, your arms kind of move in gently, and it's sort of loose between your hands. And then when you exhale, you're pulling your arms out gently, and you feel a tug.
Okay.
And then you inhale and move arms in, exhale, out, inhale, in, exhale, out. And then, depending on how many times you do it one way, you can switch your hands, and you're supposed to do them the same number the other way.
Okay.
So we're going to inhale, exhale, out, inhale, exhale, out, inhale, exhale, out. And as you do that, you may feel the pulling, the tension, and then the release when you come back in. And that's what feels so good to me.
Yeah.
It's the tension and then release, and the tension and the release. It just feels very good when I do it.
Yeah, and if you work with mudras consistently, just a few times, but throughout, each day,
Yes.
maybe, once even, and then do it the next day. Do it just, they make a profound difference. In fact, some of them have, warnings because they are so powerful. Like, learn this from a,
Wow.
from a qualified practitioner. But then there are some, it's kind of like with breath work. There's certain things that if you don't do it the right way, but they can be, and most of the ones that are known are pretty simple, they're safe,
Simple but
so,
safe, yeah.
and that's why they're so well known. But then there's, there's certain ones that, they are pretty powerful, and you can certainly concentrate on certain aspects that you're trying to heal or trying to move through with adding a mudra.
Yeah.
Even the one that everyone knows, touching your index finger to your thumb, and that's also helps your creativity. Help center, and this is so you can touch your finger to your thumb, take a few breaths.
It's very quiet.
It is. We're just going to fizzle out here, and it's like we're energizing and calming
Let's
at the
just stay
same
there
time.
for a minute. Feels good. Feels
One of
good.
my other favorites are when you touch each fingertip, and you can put a mantra with it, which is a sound. So, and the sound vibrates in a manner that, it frequencies. So I can't talk. Your body matches the frequencies of the sounds that that's why
That's
singing
beautiful.
and music makes
Yeah.
it. So you can touch each finger, and it's satanama, which is I am truth, satanam. Satanama, satanama.
Very beautiful.
Satanam. And you can do it very slowly, very quickly, whatever.
Laurie, I'm having a thought as you say that. Could you do that with gratitude, peace, love,
Sure.
joy?
Look, you created a mantra
right, I
mudra just now.
My gosh.
So, gratitude, peace.
That's so neat.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, and have the frequencies going through the body because you're saying them,
Sure.
but you're also making contact this way.
Yeah. So it's like those experiments. I just lost the doctor's name that did the music experiments on plants and on.
Oh, Dr. Emoto?
Yeah, Dr. Emoto. Okay, yeah, and he did them with words also,
Words.
without the music, to just words, and how it changed cells and it changed the activity
Oh,
of
and the snowflakes,
yeah.
he was doing crystallized water.
Yeah,
And the
and the water,
crystallized water
yeah.
just changed, they turned into these beautiful, snowflake shapes with the
different
words.
Yeah, and the different words, and some words weren't so beautiful. They
No,
made,
and
no.
you could tell the difference
Yeah.
in them. There's a wonderful book, the Messages in Water, by Dr. Masaru Emoto. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you think your thoughts and your words don't mean anything, so
Oh.
how are you talking to yourself right now?
Yeah.
Like, what things are you filling
What
your?
are you, right.
So
You know what? He did that with bodies of water, with groups of people. Bodies of water, groups of people, and they stood at the edge of the water, and they focused on love, they focused on peace, and they just stood there for, I don't know how long though, but it was a research project that he did over and over and over again, testing the water before, then testing the water after, and they found that the quality of the water had lifted. That it was actually purifying, and with consistent use, it actually purified the body of water.
okay, so how amazing would that be? Because we're almost all water, so yeah.
Well, you have to get a T-shirt that says, no.
So we can,
But you know what, if you're drinking water, I mean, just have
bottle.
something on your cup or on your bottle that says gratitude, or any word you love.
Creativity.
Yes, creativity.
Creative. So yeah, we're gonna. We have to wrap up.
I can't believe it. It feels like 10 minutes.
So yeah, if you want to reach out to Anne for more, I'd like to label it of her Anness.
Of her
And has a way of, I don't know, simplifying things and these complex ideas that could be complex and simplifying them. So can you tell us where to find you,
sure.
please?
Well, you can find me at Emerge Consulting. So probably the best way is to email me at Anne, A-N-N-E, at emergeconsultingllc.com.
Awesome.
Or you can call me.
Ooh, that's a rarity, right?
You can call me. And should I put it out there?
You can email first and then
Email me first, okay.
That would be a good thing.
That would be the
Yeah.
best thing to do, okay.
And then also be sure to join us on the mat. So Anne's going to join me for some yoga.
Yeah.
So catch that on Sunday at 8 a.m. and Monday, I have to cheat and look still, at 5 p.m. So it'll be an all-level practice, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, so thank you, and thank you for just sparking our creativity and seeing what we can do to.
All I can say is thank you, thank you, thank you. The gratitude is overflowing for the opportunity. And this is your first show. I am excited for you that this creativity thing in this whole channel is going to be amazing. And I know you'll be fabulous on it. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us, because we're doing it for you too. So yeah, go out there and create something. Make something magic happen. And design your life your way. And I'll see you next time on It's a Creativity Thing.
It's a creativity.
Yes.